Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andrej.
And I'm Patrick.
And this is more of BD Cosmos. This is the second summer kit. This is game 2. On the left we have John, and he is playing Cybernetics Division.
That's right, Cybernetics Division.
That's a really interesting ID. You have a hand size of 4, so does the runner. You have to deal with that. That's kind of weird.
It's a bit iffy, but it's also a 40-15 ID, so it's faster. You're going to see the cards you want sooner.
So I've tried that ID once or twice. I'm always confused about what kind of agendas to put into there.
Me too.
You have to, a 40 card that's 17 to 18?
That's right.
And it's just a strange strange density at that point. Well, just whether you put 2-pointers, 3-pointers, 4-pointers. Mm-hmm. No, that's not a thing. 6-pointers, it's 4-pointers. That's the one.
You can go up to a 4-pointer.
Yeah, 4-pointer is the thing. And here, so on the right we have Michael. Michael hasn't been on this channel before. He is playing some Kate, some good old Kate. This might be a prepaid variant. I'm not actually sure at this point.
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah, it usually is. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see how this matchup goes. I think there's going to be some remote spam. You got to watch out for brain damage. Brain damage is rough.
John is really going to be laying on the brain damage. We're going to see self-destruct chips, I assume.
Yes, that's a great agenda. Putting them down to hand size 3 is a big deal because a punitive counterstrike, well, I guess technically you'd still need 2 most of the time, but Snare becomes scary. Geary Labyrinth, that's a cool card.
Geary Labyrinth is all of a sudden a very cool card.
Man, that card is cool. I've had ideas of running Geary Labyrinth with the twins.
Ever since Geary Labyrinth came out, I've wanted to make a deck based on it.
Yep.
And with the Valley Grid, it becomes all the more tempting.
Yes.
But I haven't seen Valley Grid Cybernetics Division decks yet.
So we'll see how this goes. With 40 cards in your deck, or 44, I imagine, R&D can be pretty juicy. I don't know. That's how I feel with small decks. I think that I don't know what the math is. I didn't do the math, but it feels rough. So it looks like we're going to have an ice, and a remote.
Yeah. Now, my math sense is telling me it isn't a problem, but I know my math sense is probably wrong.
Oh.
I'm going to trust you on this one.
Do you check the remote? What's the worst it could be?
The first turn, I'm usually building my rig. If I don't have a perfect opening hand, I will probably check the remote.
Right, and I guess this isn't NBN. You can't sneak out an Astro or anything big. You could sneak out brain chips.
Yep.
Or what is it called?
Self-destruct
chips, right? The current, yeah. So that actually could be pretty good. You do have the Data Sucker out, which Kate is going to install for the cost of 0 with her ID. So now Centrals are... you kind of want to protect them because there's probably a parasite in here, and if you're spending money on ice, you don't want it to get trashed instantly.
For sure.
It's a pretty bad investment.
Yeah, I imagine he'll protect archives soon, maybe.
So it looks like Michael is going to run on R&D. He could hit a Fenris right now. I think that would be really good.
Oh, that'd be a fun card to see.
Well, you do have bad pub, but it looks like it is a Rototurret res, and that's a trash Data Sucker.
I don't see Rototurret very often because people say it's too expensive and it's going to die to Parasite very quickly, but of course, sometimes it works. Sometimes it works really well.
Sometimes it does work, but I don't know. Do you want to take yourself down to 1 credit on turn 1? Just to trash a Data Sucker? I don't know. I might not. It depends what you can do with your deck. I don't know. But like, as soon as you draw a hedge fund, it's really difficult now to get the money going. If you have Adonis campaigns, if you have ice on HQ, it starts to get rough.
That's true.
So I don't know if I would do that. But Rototurret only works at the beginning of the game, so maybe you do have to capitalize on that window.
That's right. It's only going to work once. But Kate, like we see, has clone chips. Of course she has clone chips. So trashing a 0-cost program, not a huge deal.
Because that might be the thing. Oh, actually, here we have a Dirty Laundry. Let's go see what's in that remote. And looks like that is a private contract. So that is a whopping 5 credits to trash. Michael is going to get 5 credits back at the end of that Dirty Laundry, so he's just going to cut even on that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay. And John does only have 4 credits right now, so maybe not a bad idea.
So you've played a lot of Gagarin. How do you like private contracts? Do you play that?
No, I use capital investors and some pads.
Right.
But mostly my assets are relatively cheap to trash because I don't mind the runner spending money on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does make sense. Looks like we have 2 more assets going out there. With Dirty Laundry, it's a bit different than having a Desperado, but the runner can check those while gaining momentum. It's not that big of a loss.
But you don't want a Dirty Laundry when you think it might be a Jackson. So
that's the worst case, yeah.
Dirty Laundering a defenseless remote.
Would you...
See what this is.
Oh, hey, that's a self-destruct chip. And that was just a naked Just naked, and he's going to check the other. That's just an alternate art version of the Adonis campaign, and that's also going to get the trash.
I have about a dozen of those.
Oh man, I only have like one. So Kate started with so much money. I think there might be a lucky find in hand. That was, I think, 2 hedge funds, 1 dirty laundry. You can't really spam assets as John. They're going to get trashed. I don't think you'd even think about it.
He needs to find a way to defend them.
With 4 credits, you're not going to find much ice.
Nope.
Yep, so that's really rough. We have 2 assets already in the bin. Ways to find money. I don't know what you can do. When you're HB, you have, if you're not playing ETF, you have campaigns. Mm-hmm. Maybe you have that current that gives you a credit for res dice. I forget what that one is called. But that's not going to work until mid to late game.
Peak efficiency?
That's it. That's the one. Peak efficiency. So it looks like we're just going to slowly credit up and give the turn back over to Michael and Kate.
Yep. John's just hoping to get to a stable economy.
Yep. So how much Kate have you played, let alone prepaid Kate? I honestly haven't played that much. Surprisingly little.
I mean, I've played a lot of Kate ever since the beginning. I got into the game very early. I haven't played a lot of prepaid Kate.
So at this point, what are you trying to do, you think? You do have that SMC, so now a parasite could hit the rototurret.
That's right.
You could pull a mimic or whatever your killer du jour is. I imagine it's a mimic.
He probably has a mimic and maybe something else in there.
Yeah, an Atman or something for higher strengths. And we have a lucky find for more money.
Of course we do.
That's the raw power you have a prepaid Kate. 1 SMC, let alone a clone chip. That's 2 breakers. You have the money to continually pull stuff out of your deck.
And with only 1 ice per server right now, Michael can do whatever he wants to.
Yeah, you can't really score.
14 credits is enough to bring a breaker out, break what you need to break.
And do it one more time.
Yeah. He's probably just waiting for... he's probably just waiting for the prepaid voice pads.
Maybe just multi-axis. Maybe you just want to wait for that Maker's Eye before you go in and trash the roto. But it looks like we're going to pop the SMC. He is... I believe that's, by the body language, that's probably a parasite.
Yes.
So that's a roto gone, and that's, 4 credits just to trash a data sucker. It might be asking for a lot.
Oh, it might not be a parasite.
No, it's
okay.
Yeah. Parasite. I think John was just putting that nicely back for the camera. So that rotor is gone, and now R&D is wide open. So John is going to have to find a piece of ice for that server, unless the Maker's Eye is going to come in maybe an R&D interface.
Right now?
Yeah, maybe even right now. Even just a dirty laundry.
I mean, the SMC didn't cost a click. I think. Oh,
no. I don't think he wants to access just yet. I think he's going to pop the clone chip. Data sucker, probably? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's a data sucker out. He's going to access, and wow.
Steal another agenda.
That's another self-destruct chip, and that gives another free access, and that's an Enigma. That actually is pretty good for John if he wants to get that Enigma out.
That's true. Enigma will be a piece of ice that he can't deal with right now, but prepaid Kate, you don't ever have a reliable scoring window against prepaid Kate.
Can't run archives, and that's the 3rd self-destruct chip. That's a really bad spot. I know that card is crucial in this matchup. Keeping them down to 3 cards is a lot.
Yeah. Of course, it's not worth many points, but it is part of the strategy. You're hoping to score at least one of them.
Yes. And you can really, really burn that hand size down. So something that just happened right there is something that I've actually kind of been enjoying in a way. When I'm playing as the corporation and say my R&D is porous or even open at the beginning of the game, and the runner runs on R&D and steals an agenda, even if it's a 1-pointer, say something like that, and then they run again and then they don't steal because it's a piece of ice. That's actually really big for the corp. Because if you're not in a position in which you can score the agendas, those agendas are just going into your hand and they're bad draws.
Yes.
So if the runner steals it, that's better than you drawing it. Considering he trashed that self-destruct chips, his hand might be flooded and he might have needed that ice. So that actually might have increased the quality of his draw.
That's true. It might help him in the later game in the end.
Yeah. So you do lose a point, but you do have a slightly better draw. I've just been playing low ice decks where that helps.
That's a very good observation. Like sometimes you'll see the card go off and like, oh, thank goodness, I didn't want that card.
Yeah, you really don't want to draw that card. It looks like John is going to be drawing up. He does see another roto turret. There's no quick parasite. There's no clone chip on the table to pull back a parasite or even an SMC. So that is a piece of ice now that it's going to have some worth. With 3 data suckers, though, instant parasite.
It's not going to last very long.
No, it really is not. And it looks like John is going to throw something into that server. All right, so we do have that professional contacts now. Yep. So it looks like Michael is set up for the mid to late game. Drawing is going to take credits. And for 2 credits, the Mimic is going to come down and just about entirely invalidate that for...
He doesn't know it's a Roturd yet.
That's true. Of course he doesn't. But that is the best defense. I think a Fenris is what I'm always scared of running into.
But Fenris is only strength 2, I think.
Right.
So even that is a...
Oh, yeah. But I just don't want to face check without
no,
a killer.
Of course not.
Yeah, because a bad pub... I'm not bad pub. Well, bad pub happens, but also you
brain
really
damage.
Can't deal with brain damage.
When you have a professional contacts on the table, do you still... I mean, he just used his diesel.
Yeah.
I think when I have professional contacts, I'm usually going to just keep using that, and maybe the diesel will be meat damage soaking...
Right.
Something like that.
It depends. Because I think at this point, maybe he's looking for a certain card to capitalize on early game. Because maybe if he dieseled into... he wanted the Maker's Eye right now. Or he wanted a clone chip right now. But yeah, those 2 cards do kind of fight. One way to see it is that the professional context gives you money for drawing into your cards. So now that diesel, you got a credit to draw. So you can play the diesel. Looks like we have another diesel, so...
All right.
I don't know. Maybe money's not that big of a concern because it honestly hasn't been that big of a competition. Getting those prepaids out fast also.
Yes, now that he has the prepaid. That's true.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, he should be digging for the prepaid. And it's surprising he's only seen the one so far.
Yep, he has seen all his other econ events too, so those prepaids are getting worse and worse with time. There is another empty remote out there that could it be an agenda? I don't think so, but we're going to check
find out.
Regardless with the dirty laundry. And that is another Adonis campaign.
And
that gets the trash.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to do. When the corp is low, especially if they have only assets to make money, you have to keep them poor.
You have to just keep trashing those money-making assets.
Kate, really strong economy. All you need is some events. So you can, if you can break your back keeping the corp poor, and you'll be in a good spot. Looks like just about time to probe HQ and Geary Labyrinth. Not on an end the run, but it does something cool for 2 credits.
It does something cool.
Does something pretty cool.
And prepaid Kate usually has a big hand, so...
Yeah, we just played a diesel maybe this turn, or the one earlier. Point, yeah. We hope... Oh my god, that's rough.
Well...
yeah, that's a vanity project.
That's game.
He went from 3 to 7 off of one single HQ access. That is really fortunate or unfortunate, depending who you're rooting for at this point.
Well, the Kate did have very few accesses.
Yes.
And almost every access paid off.
I think there was an HQ flood. Things agendas were discarded. So, well, hey, there you go. Pre-big gate events. That was a really poor opening, I suppose, for John there. But hey, do stay tuned. We have another matchup. They'll be flipping sides. Thanks for watching.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Ciao.